Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to close out the book of Jeremiah, looking at Jeremiah chapters 51 and 52. These last two chapters pull the entire book together. It's a final word to Babylon and the historical record of Jerusalem's fall. Let's look at chapter 51, Babylon's final judgment. This chapter continues and expands on the prophecy against Babylon. God's vengeance is handled in verses 1 through 24, where God declares he will stir up nations against Babylon. Babylon's wealth, armies, and nations will not save her. Verse 24 says, "Repay her according to her deeds. Do to her according to all that she has done." God calls his people to flee from the midst of Babylon so they will not share in her punishment. Babylon is the golden cup, is referred to as the golden cup in verses 25 to 44. Babylon was God's instrument to make the nations drunk with wrath, but now the cup is broken. Her idols will be shattered, her arrogance undone. Israel's Redeemer is brought forward in chapter 40, or verses 45 to 64. Here the Lord promises to restore his people's land. Jeremiah gives a symbolic act. He writes the words on a scroll, tells Seraiah to read them in Babylon, then tie a stone to the scroll and throw it in the Euphrates. Verse 64 says, "Thus shall Babylon sink to rise no more." Babylon is a picture not only of an empire, but of the world's arrogant powers. The call to flee Babylon echoes all the way into Revelation 18, where God's people are called to live distinct, not caught up in the sins of the empires of this world. Chapter 52 is a historic dialogue dealing with the fall of Jerusalem. This chapter is going to parallel very well with 2 Kings 24 and 25, and it serves as a sober and historical reminder. Verses 1 through 30 are the fall of Jerusalem. Zedekiah rebels against Babylon. In 586, Nebuchadnezzar besieges Jerusalem. The city wall is breached. The temple is burned. Treasures are carried off, and many are taken into exile. Zedekiah is captured, blinded, and carried to Babylon. The temple is destroyed in verses 17 through 23, where the bronze pillars, vessels, and sacred objects are broken and hauled away. The glory of Solomon's temple ends with a pile of ashes. Exile is recorded in verses 25 through 30, where 3 different deportations are listed, confirming the completeness of Judah's exile. But there's hope in the end. In verses 31 through 34, there's a twist that closes the book. Jehoiachin, a former king of Judah, is released from prison in Babylon and given a place of honor at the king's table. He receives daily provisions all the rest of his life. Jeremiah ends not with triumphant closures, but with tension. Exile is real, but restoration is promised. That's it for today. Be well, friends.